Think you're a Disney expert? Let's put your knowledge to the test. If you're new, here is how our quizzes work. We'll show you 30 pictures of current Disney World attractions. Some you'll recognize instantly, others might challenge even the biggest Disney fans. You'll have 5 seconds to guess the attraction it replaced before it is revealed. Keep track of how many you get right, and let us know your score in the comments. Are you ready? Let's dive into the magic of Walt Disney World. We're starting in Frontierland at Magic Kingdom, where Tiana's Bayou adventure now sends guests through the Bayou for a Mardi Gras celebration with Tiana, Louise, and a whole crew of musical critters. For more than 30 years, though, this mountain was Splash Mountain, the log flume that opened in 1992 and became one of Disney World's most recognizable thrill rides thanks to its big drop into the Briar Patch. Over in Fantasyland, the many adventures of Winnie the Pooh now takes guests through a storybook trip into the 100-acre wood, complete with blustery winds, bouncing with Tigger, and a very colorful Heffalumps and Woozles scene. But before Pooh moved in, this was Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, one of Magic Kingdom's original 1971 dark rides, and still one of the most famously missed attractions in the park's history. Princess Fairy Tale Hall may now be a polished royal meet and greet in Fantasyland, but this location used to have a much creepier personality. It was once Snow White's Scary Adventures, an opening day Magic Kingdom dark ride that leaned heavily into the evil queen, the haunted forest, and the scarier side of Disney's first animated feature. The Fantasyland Theater that now houses Mickey's PhilharMagic has seen a few different Disney stories pass through it. Before Donald Duck was getting swept into a 3D musical adventure, the space hosted The Legend of the Lion King, a stage show that opened in 1994 and retold Simba's story with large puppets, live performers, and theatrical set pieces. Tomorrowland's Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin turned this building into an interactive Toy Story shooting gallery with spinning vehicles, glowing targets, and plenty of Zurg. Before that, guests were boarding Take Flight, and earlier Delta Dream Flight and If You Had Wings, a lighthearted airline-sponsored ride that traced the history and future of air travel with animated scenes and catchy music. The Monsters, Inc. Laugh Floor brought interactive comedy to Tomorrowland, with Mike Wazowski and friends turning audience jokes into laughs for Monstropolis. The same circular theater once belonged to The Timekeeper, a Circle Vision 360 film that sent guests traveling through time with a robotic host and his camera companion, Nine-Eye. Seven Dwarfs Mine Train sits in the heart of New Fantasyland, mixing a family coaster with show scenes from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. The history under this part of Fantasyland is much deeper, because this area was once dominated by the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea Lagoon, where guests boarded Nautilus submarines for an underwater voyage inspired by the classic Disney film. Storybook Circus gives this corner of Fantasyland a colorful big top look, with Dumbo, the Barnstormer, and Pete's Silly Sideshow all fitting into the circus theme. Before the new Fantasyland expansion, this was Mickey's Toontown Fair, where guests could walk through Mickey's Country House, Minnie's Country House, Donald's Boat, and the original version of Goofy's Barnstormer. Cosmic Ray's Starlight Cafe is now one of Magic Kingdom's busiest quick-service restaurants, and for many fans, Sunny Eclipse is the real headliner. Before the restaurant took on its current space-age supper club feel during the new Tomorrowland era, this was Tomorrowland Terrace, an opening-era dining location that served guests long before the land's 1990s transformation. EPCOT's Guardians of the Galaxy, Cosmic Rewind, is now one of Disney World's biggest thrill rides, sending guests backward into a rotating indoor coaster adventure. The pavilion had a very different mission before the Guardians arrived. It was Universe of Energy, later updated into Ellen's Energy Adventure, a massive, slow-moving EPCOT attraction about energy, science, dinosaurs, and the future of power. That is 10 locations down, so how are you doing so far? Did you breeze through the Magic Kingdom replacements, or did EPCOT already sneak one past you? Keep your score going because I want to see your final number in the comments. Mission Space now puts guests through astronaut training in EPCOT's World Discovery, with missions that simulate a launch, a flight path, and a landing sequence. But before this pavilion became all about spaceflight intensity, it was Horizons, one of the most beloved extinct EPCOT attractions, where riders explored optimistic visions of life in the future, from desert farms to underwater cities to space colonies. Test Track has made this EPCOT pavilion all about vehicle design, testing, and high-speed motion. The original attraction here was World of Motion, a General Motors-sponsored dark ride that opened with EPCOT in 1982 and took a playful, scene-filled trip through the history of transportation, from the invention of the wheel to futuristic travel concepts. In the Norway Pavilion, Frozen Ever After now brings guests into the world of Anna, Elsa, Olaf, and Arendelle. The boat ride that came before it was Maelstrom, a very EPCOT-style attraction that mixed Norwegian folklore, trolls, oil rigs, stormy seas, and a small backwards plunge before sending guests toward a travel film finale. Inside EPCOT's Mexico Pavilion, Grand Fiesta Tour, starring the Three Caballeros, turned the original boat ride into a search for Donald Duck across Mexico. Before that update, the ride was El Rio del Tiempo, or the River of Time, a slower and more scenic cruise through Mexican culture, history, music, and landmarks. Connections, Cafe and Eatery, is part of EPCOT's redesigned World Celebration area, with a brighter, more open look than the Future World restaurant that came before it. This spot is tied to the former Electric Umbrella, a long-running quick-service location remembered for its neon style, upper-level seating, and very 1990s EPCOT personality. Enjoying the challenge? Take a moment to like and subscribe so you never miss a new Disney quiz. EPCOT's main gift shop is now Creations Shop, a cleaner and more modern retail space built around Mickey-inspired design and park-wide merchandise. Longtime guests remember this location as Mouse Gear, the huge Future World store filled with colorful details, oversized mechanical touches, and a much more kinetic, playful atmosphere, and it was the Centaurium even before that. The Seas with Nemo and Friends now uses characters from Finding Nemo to guide guests into EPCOT's Aquarium Pavilion. Before the Nemo overlay, this was the Living Seas, a more serious ocean exploration pavilion where guests passed through a pre-show, boarded hydrolators, rode sea cabs, and arrived at Seabase Alpha beside the giant aquarium. The theater next to Journey into Imagination is currently home to the Disney and Pixar Short Film Festival, but this space has one of EPCOT's more unusual attraction histories. It previously hosted Captain EO, then Honey, I Shrunk the Audience, then Captain EO again, giving this one theater a long run of 3D shows tied to Michael Jackson, Figment, and Wayne Szalinski. Regal Eagle Smokehouse brought barbecue, craft sauces, and Sam Eagle into the American Adventure Pavilion at EPCOT. Before that, this was Liberty Inn, the pavilion's original counter-service restaurant from 1982, serving burgers, fries, and other familiar American theme park staples for decades. Communicore Hall and Communicore Plaza now sit in EPCOT's World Celebration neighborhood, giving the center of the park a new festival space, stage area, and indoor gathering hall. Before the transformation, This side of the park was part of the Innovations West complex, where guests could sample international sodas at the original Club Cool, grab coffee at Fountain View Starbucks, and pass through one of the last remaining pieces of EPCOT's old Future World hub. We are 20 locations in, which means you are 2/3 of the way through the quiz. How is your score holding up? Are these replacements bringing back memories, or are a few of them tougher than expected? Make sure you save that final score for the comments. At Disney's Hollywood Studios, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway now takes guests inside a Mickey Mouse cartoon using trackless ride vehicles, projection effects, and a very catchy theme song. For the first 3 decades of the park's life, though, the Chinese theater belonged to the Great Movie Ride, the opening day centerpiece that moved guests through scenes inspired by classic Hollywood films. Toy Story Mania turned this Hollywood Studios soundstage into a 3D carnival midway, where guests pull spring action shooters through games hosted by Woody, Buzz, and the rest of Andy's toys. The previous attraction here was Who Wants to Be a Millionaire Play It?, a theme park version of the TV game show where guests competed from the audience and, if they were lucky, from the hot seat. The Hyperion Theater now hosts, for the first time in forever, a Frozen sing-along celebration with royal historians guiding guests through the songs and story of Frozen. Before Arendelle took over, the theater was home to the American Idol experience, where park guests auditioned, performed on stage, and were voted on by the audience in a full game show-style production. Animation Courtyard still has an aerial show, but The Little Mermaid, a musical adventure, is a newer production built for this long-running theater space. It replaced Voyage of the Little Mermaid, the former stage show that opened in the early Disney MGM Studios years, and combined live performers, puppets, film clips, lasers, and mist effects to retell Ariel's story. Sunset Showcase now belongs to Disney Villains' Unfairly Ever After, a stage show where the magic mirror gives Disney's villains a chance to make their case. Before the villains moved in, this theater hosted Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy, a Cars-based show centered around a large racing simulator screen and Lightning McQueen teaching rookie racers. Star Wars Galaxy's Edge completely changed the identity of this side of Disney's Hollywood Studios, turning it into the planet Batuu with the Millennium Falcon, Rise of the Resistance, and a full Star Wars marketplace. Before that transformation, this part of the park still carried pieces of the old studio backlot era, including the Streets of America and the area tied to Lights, Motors, Action Extreme Stunt Show. Toy Story Land makes guests feel like they have stepped into Andy's backyard, surrounded by giant toys, building blocks, game pieces, and Slinky Dog Dash winding through the middle of it all. Before this expansion, much of the land was connected to the park's production-era footprint, including the iconic Earful Tower and areas once associated with the studio backlot tour. Pandora, the world of Avatar, is now one of Animal Kingdom's most visually ambitious lands, with floating mountains, bioluminescent plants, Flight of Passage, and Navi River Journey. Before all of that, this was Camp Mini Mickey, a much simpler character greeting area that also housed the original home of Festival of the Lion King. Inside the Tree of Life Theater, Zootopia, Better Zoogether, now brings Judy Hopps, Nick Wilde, and the different biomes of Zootopia into Animal Kingdom. The theater was previously home to It's Tough to Be a Bug, the 3D and 4D show based on a bug's life that surprised plenty of guests with stingers, spiders, stink bug effects, and other creepy crawly moments. Finding Nemo, The Big Blue and Beyond, the second iteration of the show, fills the theater in the wild with puppets, performers, and songs inspired by Finding Nemo and Finding Dory. Before Nemo arrived, This theater hosted Tarzan Rocks, a much louder and more kinetic Animal Kingdom show that mixed live music, acrobatics, and rollerblading performers. That's all 30, but before we go, it's bonus time. Do you know what the original name of Disney Springs was? Leave your guess in the comments. Post your score, and let's see how magical your WDW knowledge really is. That's all for now. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and let us know how you did in the comments below. See you real soon for more Disney trivia.